Bushel basket between the rocking chairs. August afternoon without any cares. Snap the end and pull the string across dream. Best conversation with the least of cost. 3 generations working down the pile. Talked about the nothing for a while. Snapping beans on the porch in the heat. Best slow work that any day could meet. Snap and string and toss into the bowl. Snapping beans is good for any soul. Grandma told the story of the flood. Back in 45, sparred all the mud. Mama added something she had heard. Different version every time the word got passed on, but nobody corrected. Bean snapping is how the truth gets protected. Snapping beans on the porch in the heat. Best slow work that any day could meet. Snap and string and toss into the bowl. Snapping beans is good for any soul. Work that keeps the hands and frees the mouth. Best tradition of the old deep south. Pile goes down and stories pile up tall. Snapping beans till supper time is all. Snapping beans on the porch in the heat. Best slow work that any day could meet. Snap and string and toss into the bowl. Snapping beans is good for any soul. Vines ran 50 feet into the tree. Wild muscadine belonging to the free. Purple, bronze, and deep and round, hanging where the deer and foxes found. Fill the bucket, working up the lane. Best treasure born for nothing but the rain. Wild muscadine, September, thick and sweet. Best wild thing your hungry mouth can eat. Bronze and purple from the tangled vine. Wild muscadine, September, yours and mine. Fruit on skin too tough to eat, polite and slow. Pop 'em in and chew 'em in the blow. Seeds and pulp and sweetness all at once. Muscadine will make a fool of dunce. Juice ran purple down the chin and arm. Best walk ever taken on this farm. Wild muscadine, September, thick and sweet. Best wild thing your hungry mouth can eat. Bronze and purple from the tangled vine. Wild muscadine, September, yours and mine. Made a gallon jug of wine fall. Neighbor said it was the best of all. Wild and sweet and nothing that we grew, just the vine of what the season knew. Wild muscadine, September, thick and sweet. Best wild thing your hungry mouth can meet. Bronze and purple from the tangled vine. Wild muscadine, September, yours and mine. And mine. And wagons in the grove of oak. We crowd meeting in the morning smoke. Families came from 40 miles around. Best revival this old county found. Preacher's voice went out across the trees, carried on the August evening breeze. August camp meeting under the oak shade. Best week of the summer that God made. Singing in the morning and the night. August camp meeting, making it right. between the canvas rows. Mothers watching with their patient nose. Dinner on the ground at noon each day. Everybody had a word to say about the goodness of the season here. Camp meeting coming only once a year. August camp meeting under the oak shade. Best week of the summer that God made. Singing in the morning and the night. August camp meeting, making it right. Denomination didn't matter then. Everybody at the bench and pen, writing down the verses they held dear. Best community of the entire year. August camp meeting under the oak shade. Best week of the summer that God made. Singing in the morning and the night. August camp meeting, making it right. Clear notes across the morning field. Best alarm the countryside can yield. And bobwhite's calling from the hedgerow east. Sound so clear it put my worries ceased. Cubby flushed up from the broom mesh stand. Best wing over's memory in the land. Bobwhite quail morning calling clear. Sweetest sound of all the sounds I hear. Two shell to whistle in the dewy air. Bobwhite quail morning everywhere. Dog worked the field edge low and wide, pointing stiff against the other side. Held until I flushed the covey out. Birds went every direction without doubt. Missed them clean and laughed about it long. Down the back like I had done him wrong. Bobwhite quail morning calling clear. Sweetest sound of all the sounds I hear. Two shell to whistle in the dewy air. Bobwhite quail morning everywhere. Numbers dropping off since I was young. Habitat gone short and fence line strung. But this one morning calling from the rise makes me think they might yet stay and thrive. Bobwhite quail morning calling clear. Sweetest sound of all the sounds I hear. Two shelters whistle in the dewy air. Bobwhite quail morning everywhere. Three strings and a teardrop body smooth. Old farmer's mountain sound inside its groove. Fretted with a note or a pen. Melody humming back from way back when. Somebody's Bridgie Sue's mother played this one. Passed it down before her playing's done. Dulcimer on the mountain lap and drone. Sweetest lonesome sound I've ever known. Old Appalachian tune finding the air. Dulcimer on the mountains always there. Stop Dulcimer. Workshop in the hollow made them right. Craftsmen bent the sides by firelight. Spruce top sounding board and walnut back. Nothing on this mountain that it lacked. Festival brought players every May. Dulcimer's all at once to play. And Dulcimer on the mountain lap and drone. Sweet as lonesome sound I've ever known. Old Appalachian tune finding the air. Dulcimer on the mountains always there. Off in Dulcimer, electric gates came roaring up the road. Dulcimer just kept its gentle load. Some sounds were made for smaller rooms and hills. Old mountain music is the kind that fills. Old Appalachian tune finding the air. Dulcimer on the mountains always there. summer job at 14 stacking hay. $5 an hour in a working day. Friday came and the envelope was there. Thickest piece of paper anywhere. Daddy said go cash it at the bank. Stood there in that teller line and thank. First paycheck Friday, holding something real. Nothing like the earned money's feel. Sweating, stacking every bale of dime. First paycheck Friday, earned in my own time. 40 cents a pair of jeans and kept the rest. Put it in the coffee can with zest. Saved enough for school supplies that fall. Proudest 14 embers of them all. Mama said she knew I'd figure out what this working life is all about. First paycheck Friday, holding something real. Nothing like the earned money's feel. Sweating, stacking every bale of dime. First paycheck Friday, earning my own time. Oh. Paychecks come and go on every screen, but nothing's been the way that paper's been. Handed from a farmer's calloused hand. First paycheck is how you understand. First paycheck Friday, holding something real. Nothing like the earned money's feel. Sweating, stacking every bale of dime. First paycheck Friday, earning my own time. Oh. Only found along the bank. Monster chip buffet with the particular rank. Held it in the curl of the first finger. Vesper was the one that made it linger. Daddy said the secret is the wrist, not the on the shoulder or the fist. Palm skipping stones, count them out loud. 7 skips and you should stand up proud. Ripple after ripple going wide. Palm skipping stones, every summer's guide. Reconians done the tends to go, and Robinians to clips of tenulant men. Beconians done the tends to grow. Beconians done the tend every note in them bow, and walking on a calm spot. Best ever at the pond, and we forgot all the things that bothered us before. Nothing in the world but that flat shore. And pond skipping stones, count them out loud. 7 skips and you should stand up proud. Ripple after ripple going wide. Pond skipping stones, every summer's guide. Reconians done attends to go, and Robinians to clips of tenulant men. Bring my own kids to the same old bank. Same limestone chips, same afternoon rank. Watch them find the wrist the way I found. Same pond, same stone, same joyful sound. Pond skipping stones, count them out loud. 7 skips and you should stand up proud. Ripple after ripple going wide. Pond skipping stones, every summer's guide. First warm Saturday in March, he said, today we clean this house from tail to head. Rugs went out across the porch real wide. Everything that winter stuffed inside came out blinking in the pale sun. Spring cleaning day had just begun. Spring cleaning day, turn it inside out. Shake the rugs and let the sun shine. Winter out the window, winter out the door. Spring cleaning day, open every floor. Windows washed till they were barely there. Curtains on the line in the April air. Furniture moved out from every wall. Dust and dog hair filling up the hall. Kid did my booty on the kitchen stone. Best family project anybody's known. Spring cleaning day, turn it inside out. Shake the rugs and let the sun shine. Winter out the window, winter out the door. Spring cleaning day, open every floor. Stood back at the evening looking in, fresh and neighbored and ready to begin. 6 more months before the cold returns. Spring cleaning is what winter living earns. Spring cleaning day, turn it inside out, shake the rugs and let the sun shine. Winter out the window, winter out the door, spring cleaning day, open every floor. Trucks pulled in before the sun. Every man already knowing what gets done. Silk plates on the ground and rafters stacked. Nothing in this world that this town lacked. When the need was real, the cause was clear. Everybody shows up without a fear. Barn raising Monday, swinging from the beam. Best thing that a neighborhood can dream. Hosting rafter, reaching for the sky. Barn raising Monday, watch your walls go high. Broke winners to come. Women brought the food and kept the count. Sandwiches and pie in that amount that nobody went hungry in the heat. Hammers ringing out on every beat. Frame stood up by half past afternoon. Whole crew cheering underneath the moon. Barn raising Monday, swinging from the beam. Best thing that a neighborhood can dream. Hosting rafter, reaching for the sky. Barn raising Monday, watching walls go high. Nobody sent a bill, and nobody asked. A neighbor needing help, it was all that tasked. This community to rise and come together. Barn raising any kind of weather. Barn raising Monday, swinging from the beam. Best thing that a neighborhood can dream. Posting rafter, reaching for the sky. Barn raising Monday, watching walls go high. All names are fling. Dry beneath the porch on a summer day. Calm tying our pits in the dust where they'd stay. Poke the straw into the funnels fine. Sang a little song along the line. Doodle bug, come on out. Watch the sand begin to swirl about. Doodle bug in the dust under the porch. No electricity and no torch. Just a straw and a cone of dry dirt. Doodle bug in the dust, never hurt. Hours pass with nothing else to do. Best entertainment under there and true. Cousin said to try the bigger pit, closer to the post where the good ones sit. Waited long when one came rolling up, better than a coin in a lucky cup. Doodle bug in the dust under the porch. No electricity and no torch. Just a straw and a cone of dry dirt. Doodle bug in the dust, never hurt. Whole afternoon went by without a scream. Best entertainment childhood ever seen. Nothing but the dust and the straw and song. Porch shade keeping you the whole day long. Doodle bug in the dust under the porch. No electricity and no torch. Just a straw and a cone of dry dirt. Doodle bug in the dust, never hurt. 3 weeks of chores to buy the pair. Brown and gold and standing proud out there. Tried them on and walked the store around. Heel and toe and that particular sound. Wore them on still in the paper bag. Proudest kid to ever carry that tag. First day in new boots walking tall. Best investment going in the fall. Heel tap on my hardwood says it clear. First day in new boots only comes once a year. Every puddle avoided on the way. Couldn't scuff them on the very first day. By the afternoon, stiffness broke. started feeling like a different folk. Daddy watched me walk into the barn, said, son, those boots will tell your story on. First day in new boots, walking tall, best investment going into fall. He'll tap on my hardwood, says it clear. First day in the boots only comes once a year. Wore 'em out and bought another pair. Same style, same color, same repair. Man at the boot shop knew my size by heart. New boots every autumn is the start. First day in new boots, walking tall, best investment going in the fall. He'll tap on my hardwood, says it clear. First day in new boots only comes once a year. Persimmon pudding pushed through the sieve. November dessert you cannot believe. Eggs and sugar in the mixing bowl, spice and cream and something like a soul. Poured it in the pan and waited long. Best thing coming from an autumn song. Persimmon pudding night, warm from the oven, nothing like it for the ones you're loving. Dark and sweet and tasting of the fall. Persimmon pudding night, worth waiting on. Grandma's recipe in her own hand. Merriment's by feel not what was planned. Pinch of this in handful of the spice. Said she never made it the same twice, but it always came out right somehow. Best November magic she allowed. Persimmon pudding night, warm from the oven, nothing like it for the ones you're loving. Dark and sweet and tasting of the fall. Persimmon pudding night, worth waiting on. Took me 30 years to try her recipe. Never got it quite as good as she, but the trying brought her into every bowl. Persimmon pudding is a searching soul. Persimmon pudding night, warm from the oven, nothing like it for the ones you're loving. Dark and sweet and tasting of the fall. Persimmon pudding night, worth waiting on. Worth waiting on. I went green at 4:30 one day. Sirens winding up along the way. Grabbed the baby and the dog and ran down the cellar stairs the way we planned. Door pulled shut and latch dropped into place. Whole family in a 6-box of mirror space. Storm cellar summer waiting out the roar. Best protection 6 steps from the door. Candle on the shelf and hands held tight. Storm cellar summer through the longest night. Daddy told a joke nobody heard. Wind too loud above for any word. Mama kept the baby from the fear. 20 minutes felt like half a year. Silence came and we cracked the door back slow. Found a branch where the old elm used to grow. Storm cellar summer waiting out the roar. Best protection 6 steps from the door. Candle on the shelf and hands held tight. Storm cellar summer through the longest night. House was fine and so the garden stood. Cellar did exactly what it should. The fear that went in came back out as thanks. Every summer that old cellar ranks. Storm cellar summer waiting out the roar. Best protection 6 steps from the door. Candle on the shelf and hands held tight. Storm cellar summer through the longest night. Walnuts covered in the thick green hull, driveway full before the tree went null. Drove the truck back and forth across the row, hulls came off the walnut in the blow. Hands gone black before the first hour done, stain that wouldn't leave for days of sun. Walnut hulling October, black hands and all. There's tradition coming into fall, hull them out and dry them on the screen. Walnut hulling October, keep them clean. Blossoms that cracked them on the anvil all November. Meats came out in pieces to remember, baked into the brownies and the bread. Best walnut came from where we lived and tread. Neighbors had a bucket full to share. Swap some for the apple butter there. Walnut hulling October, black hands and all. That's tradition coming into fall, hull them out and dry them on the screen. Walnut hulling October, keep them clean. Black walnut flavor, nothing else comes near. Where's the stains, deculum hands and all the gear? Every cracked shell in November's bowl, wild walnut has a deep and smoky soul. Walnut hulling October, black hands and all. Best tradition coming into fall, hull them out and dry them on the screen. Walnut hulling October, keep them clean. Swinging it at 2 ends, silver heifer laid out in the corner stand. Our quiet waiting in the cold, then the calf came slipping wet and bold. Though the turner cleaned in with her tongue, best begin as she can a cold night song. New calf in the barn, shaking all his feet, wobbling to his mama for the treat. First breath and the first taste of the warm. New calf in the barn, outlasting any storm. They carried him inside to dry him right. Kids woke up and came out in the night, hands all over his slick and knobby head, biggest size of anyone. Wells mastications, mama nervous pacing in the stall. Best reason to be up before the call. New calf in the barn, shaking on his feet, wobbling to his mama for the treat. First breath and the first taste of the warm. New calf in the barn, outlasting any storm. By the morning he was steady walking strong. Mama's voice and his recalling song stood between the fence posts and the sun. New life in the barn and spring begun. New calf in the barn, shaking on his feet, wobbling to his mama for the treat. First breath and the first taste of the warm. New calf in the barn, outlasting any storm. Spring coming up before the daffodil, wild onions on the south side, hot at the hill. Pulled a bunch and brought them in the door, better than a store-bought anymore. Mixed them in the scrambled eggs at 9, March morning tasting something fine. Wild onion patch, spring coming through. First spring thing the frozen growth ever grew. Smell of onion and the cold wet soil. Wild onion patch, the end of winter's toil. Grandma called them ramps and knew them well, said the whole holler could smell your tail. When someone had been eating in the wood, wild rabbit egg was mountain brotherhood. Kids could bring the smell was on your breath, grandma's secret flavor was not death. Wild onion patch, spring coming through. First green thing the frozen ground ever grew. Smell of onion and the cold wet soil. Wild onion patch, the end of winter's toil. March is gray and cold and hard to love, but the wild onions say enough. Winter had its run, and now it's done. First green thing beneath the pale sun. Wild onion patch, spring coming through. First green thing the frozen ground ever grew. Smell of onion and the cold wet soil. Wild onion patch, the end of winter's toil. Never a warm coat and the barn smell right. Strip the leaf from stalk in the thin light. Radio crackling on the windowsill. Family working hard against the chill. Strip and crowns, grit and tie into the hand. This is what December in this land. Tobacco, stripping room warm inside. Stories told while working side by side. Finger stain, the dark brown of the leaf. Best December work without the grief. Mama graded and the kids would strip. Daddy bundled with his practice grip. Tails got longer in the cold barn air. Joe's got told and Joe's got told again there. Hot coffee in the thermos going round. Sweetest kind of December sound. Tobacco, stripping room warm inside. Stories told while working side by side. Finger stain, the dark brown of the leaf. Best December work without the green. Stripping room is quiet, now the barn stands. No more December tough tobacco from these hands. But the smell of a cured leaf in the air takes me back to everybody there. Tobacco, stripping room warm inside. Stories told while working side by side. Finger stain, the dark brown of the leaf. Best December work without the green. The dog struck the trail before the 10 o'clock. Running through the bottoms on the rock. Rivers bend and the hound sound rolling wide. Best cold October night to be outside. Laying and swinging through the sycamore stand. Everything about this was his plan. Coon hunting by the river in the dark. Dogs were singing every note and bark. Follow them wherever they decide. Coon hunting by the river is the ride. Though blue, I treat him in the cottonwood high. Flashlight found two red eyes in the sky. Dogs went crazy at the base below. Everybody milling in the glow. Let the coon walk free and call the pack. Best night hunting that we've ever had. Coon hunting by the river in the dark. Dogs were singing every note and bark. Follow them wherever they decide. Coon hunting by the river is the ride. Hey! Hey! Half the fun was never what you caught, but the dogs and dark and what the night brought. Out of ordinary life and into the trees. Coon hunting gives you back what living needs. A hook and the rope hung from the track above. Swung the bill up with a one-drug jebble shove. 60 pounds of timothy and a clover. Stack them tight before the summer's over. The July heat inside the loft was real. A hook in the hand, the only deal. Hey, hook in the loft, swinging bale on bale, salt and sweat, after summer tale. Back on sword, arms gone like a string. Hey, hook in the loft is everything. Brother caught the bale and sent it back. I stacked them 10 high in the track. Swallows dipping at the open door. 100 bales and then 100 more. Water break at noon was holy ground. Cold just passed around without a sound. Hey, hook in the loft, swinging bale on bale, salt and sweating after summer tale. Back gone sore and arms gone like a string. Hey, hook in the loft is everything. Never thought I'd miss that particular hut. Blisters in the palm and in the shirt. But July without the sweat of honest work is a July that somehow went berserk. Hey, a hook in the loft, swinging bale on bale, salt and sweating every summer tale. Back gone sore and arms gone like a string. Hey, hook in the loft is everything. Hey, hook and dove. 6 o'clock and the bell from the white steeple rolling out across the evening people. Farmers heading in from every field, day officially done and home revealed. Dogs lay down and chickens found the roost. Evening Vesper Bell gave us a boost. Evening Vesper Bell gave us a bruise. Evening Vesper calling the day home. Nobody out past 6 needs to roam. Supper on the table, prayer begins. Evening Vesper Bell, where the rest wins. Heard it 2 miles out on the tractor seat. Knew that meant the family soon to meet. Round the table with the heads all bowed. Evening choir than any crowd. Crickets tuning up to take the shift. Vesper Bell, the daily evening gift. Evening Vesper Bell calling the day home. Nobody out past 6 needs to roam. Supper on the table, prayer begins. Evening Vesper Bell, where the rest wins. Bell cracked in the winter of the ice. Nobody fixed it right the first time twice. But the wobble in the tone became the sound. Most beloved in this whole piece of ground. Evening Vesper Bell calling the day home. Nobody out past 6 needs to roam. Supper on the table, prayer begins. Evening Vesper Bell, where the rest wins. Where the rest wins. How the shocks in November's brittle cold. Corn all stripped and standing in the fold. 12 stalks to a shock and set 'em right. Best architecture in the fading light. Field gone golden with 100 rows. Fodder for the cattle when the snowfield blows. I Fodder Shock in the field standing row on row. November painting everything in gold and low. Tied by hand and left to cure and dry. Fodder Shock in the field against the sky. No them in on the first hard freeze week. Fed them to the cattle through the creek. Cattle pulling at the dry corn leaf. Everything the summer had to give. Stored in this November, architecture stood. Farmer stood row feet. Fodder Shock in the field standing row on row. November painting everything in gold and low. Tied by hand and left to cure and dry. Fodder Shock in the field against the sky. Right. Nobody makes Fodder Shocks out there no more. combined takes a whole row to the floor. But I still see them when the light goes slant. November rolls of gold that I can't stop driving past without the memory of November and those shocks feeding free. Oh, say, Fodder Shock in the field, set a row. Oh, oh. November painting everything ain't golden low. Tied by hand and left to cure and dry. Fodder Shock in the field against the sky. Row, right. 6 inches overnight and still it came, but showed regardless all the same. Chains rattling on the county road, driver Harold carrying his load. Heater blowing from the front seat, far, far the window from the back to bar. School bus in the snow rolling anyway. Harold never missed a single day. Chains and chains through the drifting lane. School bus in the snow bringing us again. Campaign. In the skid press faces on the cold glass white, watching farms go quiet on each side. Someone's cattle bunched against the fence, someone's smoke against the morning dents. The lunchbox on the knee, a 6-old boot still dry. Best commute beneath the winter sky. School bus in the snow and anyway, Harold never missed a single day. Chains and chains in through the drifted lane. School bus in the snow bringing us again. Harold that route for 30 years, never one complaint to all the gears. Said the kids were worth the cold black road, every snowy morning his best load. School bus in the snow rolling anyway, Harold never missed a single day. Chains and chains in through the drifted lane. School bus in the snow bringing us again. Trailers line the lane before the light. Cotton gin been running through the night. Ball still wide against the picking day. Whole county coming in from miles away. Took the ticket from the man at the door. First year at the gin I'd ever been before. Cotton gin, October, pouring in the year. Biggest machine in all the farming gear. Lifting cedar, pardon bell comes out. Cotton gin, October, what it's all about. First to be answer blevin, builders stacking the field. Every acre showing up its yield. Mine resale hauling on the flatbed trucks. Farmer calculating all the bucks. Manager rate out the grade and weight. Number on the ticket, deciding fate and fate. Cotton gin, October, foreign and near. Biggest machine in all the farming year. Linton cedar, pardon bell comes out. Cotton gin, October, what it's all about. Granddad said the hand exploded, took forever. Mechanical harvester was the lever, changed the whole October at one go. Cotton gin is how the future showed. Cotton gin, October, foreign in the year. Biggest machine in all the farming year. Linton cedar, pardon bell comes out. Cotton gin, October, what it's all about. Hung in the smokehouse, going on 2 years. All cured and ready for the Christmas cheers. Brought it in the week before the day. Soaked the salt out in the holiday way. Scored the fat and studded it with clove. Best thing ever coming from the stove. Country ham Christmas, red and salty sweet. Best present underneath the holiday heat. Sliced it paper thin on Christmas morn. Country ham Christmas since before we're born. Hey! Red mixes gravy in the skillet black. Nothing in the world you'd want to take back. Biscuits soaked in everybody's sack. Christmas table richer just for that. Ham bone in the beans on New Year's Day. Country ham kids giving all the way. Country ham Christmas, red and salty sweet. Best present underneath the holiday heat. Sliced it paper thin on Christmas morn. Country ham Christmas since before we're born. Hey! Store ham has its place on holidays, but a salt naptured country ham displays the patience of a season in the smoke. Best gift the smokehouse ever spoke. Country ham Christmas, red and salty sweet. Best present underneath the holiday heat. Sliced it paper thin on Christmas morn. Country ham Christmas since before we're born. Hey! United sides let the winter cold blow through. Here's a corn packed solid in the hue of pale gold against the January snow. Best storage that the Owens came to know. Squirrels working on the bottom board. Raccoon in the night, trying to hoard. And crib in the snow, standing with the ears, keeping what the summer kept for years. Sliding cold and corn inside the wall. Corn crib in the snow, feeding through the fall. They scooped it out and ran it through the sheller, creaking in the cold below the cellar. Grinding off the grain for winter meal. Best December sound you'll ever feel. Grounded fine for cornbread in the pan. Corn crib to the table was the plan. And crib in the snow, standing with the ears, keeping what the summer kept for years. Sliding cold and corn inside the wall. Corn crib in the snow, feeding through the fall. Metal bands replaced them on the land. Computer monitored and planned. Up the slack corn crib and the snow far wide is the prettiest storage in the line. And crib in the snow, standing with the ears, keeping what the summer kept for years. Sliding cold and corn inside the wall. Corn crib in the snow, feeding through the fall. Will slow down the main street to run, float behind her under October sun. Everybody from the county lined the way. Biggest Saturday of the autumn day. Crown a little crooked on her head, waving like she wasn't born and bred. And here county homecoming queen, wave your hand. Prettiest tradition in this whole land. Orange and gold and the afternoon parade. County homecoming queen, you've got it made. Grandma on the curb with her good coat on said she was the queen and 40, that's wrong. Same parade and same October air, different girl but everybody there. Photo in the paper said her name, 40 years and the tradition's just the same. Here at county homecoming queen, wave your hand. Prettiest tradition in this whole land. Orange and gold and the afternoon parade. County homecoming queen, you've got it made. Left for college and the city wide, but that October she came back inside. The kind of pride that only hometown gives. Homecoming queen is something that still lives. Hey, county homecoming queen, wave your hand. Prettiest tradition in this whole land. Orange and gold and the afternoon parade. County homecoming queen, you got it made. County homecoming queen. Down in the bottom where the pawpaw grow. September yellow, soft and sweet and slow. Nobody plants them, they just find the ground. Best of wild fruit this county ever found. Picked them in the morning, cool and ripe. Sweetest tropical thing without a hype. Paw Patch September going soft. Nature hiding something worth the loft. Cut starting yellow in the hand. Paw Paw Patch, the sweetest in the land. Nobody sells them, they don't ship at all. Too soft for the market come the fall. Means the only ones who ever taste are the ones who find them in the haste. of September, walking in the bottom's low. Sweetest secret only wanderers know. Paw Patch September going soft, nature hiding something worth the loft. And cut starting yellow in the hand. Paw Paw Patch, the sweetest in the land. Cut starty pocket told, they tropical means something far. Mango and papaya from a jar. But our own Paw Paw in the September bottom is the sweetest thing this country's gotten bottom. Paw Patch September going soft, nature hiding something worth the loft. And cut starting yellow in the hand. Paw Paw Patch, the sweetest in the land. Paw Patch. Livestock pen behind the hardware store. Once a month the mule traders came before, noon with their long ears saddled tight. Every farmer judging left and right. Confirmation in the feet and sever style. Best mule in the county standing by. Mule trading day, nobody in a rush. Stubborn animal needs a patient brush. Walk him out and let him show his gait. Mule trading day, and everything can wait. The left stock dealer from down south brought 6 up tall. Said they'd work the Mississippi all the ball. Daddy ran his hand along the back, felt the muscle under the black tine. Haggled for an hour in the sun. Best deal of the spring when it was done. Mule trading day, nobody in a rush. Stubborn animal needs a patient brush. Walk him out and let him show his gait. Mule trading day, and everything can wait. Mule 20-day trading day when tractors came. But those men could read a mule like flame, read a page and never miss a word. Best livestock knowledge ever overheard. Mule trading day, nobody in a rush. Stubborn animal needs a patient brush. Walk him out and let him show his gait. Mule trading day, and everything can wait. Block carved out a century back, stood beside the wheel along the track. Spring pipe that trickled in an overflow, grew a crop of moss around the bow. Cattle coming in at noon each day, same trough, same cool, same shaded way. Oh, water and truth, limestone, green and cool, best gathering point for every working tool. Horse and cow and dog and kid alike. Old watering trough on the afternoon hike. Dog would drink and then the horses next. Everything in order, no one hexed. Kids would splash their faces in the heat, farmer rinsed his hands before his seat. At the lunch table back inside the door, Bruh served everything and always more. Oh, the water and truth, limestone green and cool, best gathering point for every working tool. Horse and cow and dog and kid alike. Old watering trough on the afternoon hike. Stood through every drought and every flood, never asked for anything but mud. In the spring that fed it from the hill, 100 years of giving water still. Old water and truth, limestone green and cool, best gathering point for every working tool. Horse and cow and dog and kid alike. Old watering trough on the afternoon hike. Rowing truth. Sailors backed into the fairgrounds lot, showing off whatever horse you got. Walk and trot and canter down the lane. Every buyer watching for the game. Dealer leaning on the gatepost and slow, sizing up the ones he didn't know. Horse trading Saturday all day long. Every handshake worth a brand new song. Look him in the eye and check the hoof. Horse trading Saturday, the honest proof. Daddy walked the bay mares twice around. He said she's got a hitch before the ground. Seller dropped the price and shook his hand. Deal was made the way this market planned. No receipt was needed. Both men knew the word that both exceeded. Horse trading Saturday all day long. Every handshake worth a brand new song. Look him in the eye and check the hoof. Horse trading Saturday, the honest proof. Handshake deal died out with the market age, but that Saturday still fills a page in this county's memory of how things got done and trusted then and now. Horse trading Saturday all day long. Every handshake worth a brand new song. Look him in the eye and check the hoof. Horse trading Saturday, the honest proof.